Councilman, what brings you out here today?
Democracy. Democracy brings me out today to just watch the person who holds the White House just obscure the laws, ignore the Constitution. It really hurts my heart, and particularly from my background, being a person who's African American, I'm 64 years old, and I can remember Bobby Kennedy getting shot. I can remember Dr. King, and to actually see us reliving these things again and going through this, I would think if we were going to have a rally, it would be for something else, right? It would be how to feed the world rather than how to reiterate our rights again. And so, yeah, democracy. And democracy is not perfect, and there's always been issues in this country. But for have someone to bring us back almost to the 1800s, it's hurtful. So yes, I'm here not because I'm elected. I'm here because I have grandchildren, and I don't want my grandchildren to have to go through the process of fighting. I don't like the divisiveness on either side. I like the fact where you can have a discussion and talk. I believe in having a persuasive discussion. I think there's always something better in the middle, but the way things are today, you need to show up. So I hope I didn't overtalk it.
Not at all, not at all. A lot comes out of those remarks. We feel like we're regressing in a certain way. You're talking about the death of Bobby Kennedy, and since that time, we like to believe that we've been moving in the right direction. To what extent does Donald Trump reveal that we have a long way to go, and how do we address that?
So maybe I'm an idealist. I don't believe we have a long way to go. I think this is a little hump. And if you actually look at the history of Donald Trump, he had some type of gift to like make people just go a certain way and just kind of blind them, right? So he's been blinding companies. He blinded the NFL. Now he blinded the whole country. And so I don't want to embrace the fact that Americans are like that, right? I don't think Americans are like that. I think we're going through a real bad situation that could, if we don't catch it, right, it could get worse. But I'm not going to blame America. I'm not going to blame the United States for this. I'm going to blame a certain small amount of people, right? And the fact that we trusted the structure of our country because it's been working so well. And we didn't expect someone or some people who came up in the United States, which is actually the best country in the world in terms of structure, in terms of government, to exploit it that way, to study the Constitution and study loopholes in a way to exploit it. We always thought, regardless of your political position, that you love the country enough not to exploit it. And that's where we're at. I'm not going to say that people are bad. Of course, in every place, in every situation, in every nation, every continent, you're going to have a percentage of people who are bad, right? But I don't think we have a more larger percentage of that. I think right now we're going through a dark time. I think people in the world are discontented, and he took advantage of it. And that's what con men do. That's how I feel.
How do we guard against this happening again? Or is it something that is always a possibility in our way of life?
I think it's always a possibility because it's human nature, right? So I think in the short term, we might have to have a continental Congress to look at some of these loopholes that he took advantage of and redo the Constitution. So the Constitution, in my opinion, is not a rigid document, right? It's a living document. And the Founding Fathers, who were not perfect, because you get that all the time, they were slaveholders and this and that, but they weren't perfect, right? They understood. They came out of the age of enlightenment, and they understood that whatever they were going to create had to be able to be flexible, right? And so I believe that we have to look at it and we have to make it for the 21st century, and we have to make adjustments where we've been exploited. But someone else may come in another 100 years and see holes and do it again. We have to be on our guard all the time. And folks have to talk about it and have the free press has to be able to share. They can't be intimidated, and people have to be able to share their ideas, whether it's something I agree with or not. And I think that is the pathway towards continued growth. Like Casim. Casim is a concept in Japan where you're always looking for continuous improvement. And I think that is something that is missing because people kind of sit and say, we rest on our laurels and this is it. And this is never it. We are constantly this is never it. We are constantly evolving and growing. And I think that's the problem.